Right to share through, we should be good to go.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Township of Cavan Monaghan Municipal Revitalization and Heritage Advisory Committee meeting for Thursday, September 18th, 2025 at approximately 9:12 a.m. Our land acknowledgement, we respectfully acknowledge that the Township of Cavan Monaghan is located on a Treaty 20 Michi-Saugee territory in the traditional territory of the Michi-Saugee and Anishbeg. We offer our gratitude to First Nations for their care for and teachings about these lands. May we honor these teachings. So in front of you, you have the meeting agenda for today. It was distributed earlier, either this week or late last week, I'm not sure if you've had a chance to review. If you have, thank you. If not, if you can just take a quick glance through, and once you have, if you can just, if I can have a motion to approve the agenda. Thank you, Nancy, seconded. Now, everyone in favor? Balanced, great. So before moving on, I just wanted to acknowledge we have a guest with us today. Celia from the Historical Society is with us. So good morning, thank you for coming. Item number 4, do we have any disclosure of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? None, fantastic. Okay. The meeting minutes, item number 5. Sorry, I wrote something here now, but so we have the meeting minutes as part of the agenda from June 19th, 2025. Again, the same thing, they were included in the agenda package. If you've had a chance to review, again, thank you. If we can have a motion to pass the meeting minutes from the beginning. No, seconder, Nancy, thank you. All in favor? Motion passed. Great. Okay, we can jump into our general business. The first item here we have is the Old Millbrook School on Duncan Street. We're receiving some updates today from File. I've also been asked that we have a photo package to accompany the update today. It wasn't included in the agenda that you received, so I just have to do the formal motion to adopt site photos for discussion. So again, if I can have a motion, Nancy, thank you. Seconder, Doug, all in favor? Motion passed. Great, thank you. Case look great. So Kyle, I will hand it over to you.
Thank you. I realized the roof I don't think came through. Mark, I sent these to Mark late last night and he somehow got them on. Not all the emails went through, but so things are going great there. I'm going to start with the only little bit of bad news because it's kind of trumped by better news. You can see in the one picture, the flooring turned out great in the what was the community placing room. You can see quite a few more repairs than what we thought, but not a big deal. And those got repaired. I think it looks fantastic. And if you go to the next one, the little room is the nicest. If you end up going in there, the floor looks so good. It makes the walls look terrible, which I'll get to. That's became another good thing. So the only issue, this is in the original side. We've moved into the hallway portion now. And there we've ran into some trouble. You can see how much we've replaced so far. We replaced all the nosing, all that area over there, because the more we get into it, the board, this is now in the addition, which actually has a different subfloor and different flooring thickness than the other one. The thickness of the boards, I think it's been sanded once or twice, is a lot different than the other room. And we're finding there's a lot of cracking, a lot of splitting. Nails aren't holding well because they're so thin. Subfloors punky in quite a few areas. So we've been kind of going replacing. We got to a point where we're like, we're going to find this through this whole section because it's all in the same section. So we've stopped right there. The good news is we're replacing that entire floor in that whole section. So we're going to have a brand new floor there. So he's going to try to match it as close to what we originally decided on as he can. So we're just going through logistics of how long that's going to take. We're going to kind of phase it. Couple hiccups, nothing normal for an old building like that. But yeah, things are moving ahead with that. The rail, yeah, we can pop over the rail. Railing has all the rust has been grinded off. It's been repainted. It's been sealed around every post. The vent portions that were hit by cars, there's two of them have now been fixed, cut off, re-welded on, looks excellent. Yeah,
Really good.
so the roof, I don't have a picture of it, unfortunately, I do on my phone, but I think it's all been done, I think it looks great, yeah, it looks quite good, yeah, they were very fast too, they were a good company.
Sorry to that part of Kyle.
Yeah, no, I tried sending 3 emails through and they just kept me some. Not the best architectural feature, but all the exit signage and emergency lights have been replaced because we had a couple go out, so I think it makes it look a little bit nicer in my opinion. I had a CAD teacher when I was in school and he just loved the funniest little details, like vent covers, like commercial ones. Oh, it's a beautiful vent cover. And what? And that's what I'm like, oh, that's a nice exit sign.
Sorry.
It turned into them. So we've replaced a ton, that's a funny word to use, of the heat pumps in the whole building, actually more than what we originally planned, because they've been kind of dying on us as we go. So we've got new units everywhere. We've got, so up in what was the community policing room, we have now supplemental heat and AC in there to regulate that room better. And that floor is obviously finished. So going through this, all of our pricing has came in excellent. So we have a lot of money still available in our grant. So we applied for 4 categories: flooring and walls, HVAC, roof, and doors. So the only thing that hasn't, doors have been quite a delay, just because they're custom. So we still haven't replaced the doors, they're all on order. The small one that's been an issue is hopefully going in soon. We're just waiting on a day. But we've realized there's some areas that we can still utilize that are still in those categories that we can keep moving. The one thing we're doing is out front, the stairway, if you've been there recently, you can see that there's a chunk missing, there's a pylon there. And then the floor, like the concrete floor, as you go into kind of the main doors, is all cracked, and we're replacing that whole thing, fixing the stairs. And then we're going to pave all up to there because there's a bit of a tripping hazard here and there. So that's going to be nice. So we're adding all that. And then one of the biggest things is we're hiring a proper painter to paint the majority of this building, which is going to be great. And while fixing some of the blemishes interior, going up the back stair, there's a bunch of, or plaster, there's a bunch of stuff coming through. There's like some plaster damage throughout there. So he's going to fix all that, paint all the public areas. We're probably painting all in the library now. But we're painting, my thing I'm most excited for is we're painting a lot of the exterior, not the brick, but all the every little detail, all the little squares that are blemished there. But the big architectural features on the front dormer there, he's doing all that at the end of this month. Which is, if you look, it is really field, so that's look great.
And it's just similar colors?
Going to be, so that's kind of what I was just going to say today is we're just going to match what's existing there. Unless anybody had any thoughts, but I think what's existing there looks pretty similar to what might have always been there. Yeah.
Because that's the color of the windows and the doors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's pretty close to that. Yeah. So the features on that dormer are metal, so it's a little bit more work there. But a lot of painting's going to take place on the outside and the inside, so I think that's just going to make it look that much nicer.
In the corner, like.
Yeah, all those type of things. So pretty much anything that has that paint color right there, we're touching up, so I think that'll help a lot, yeah.
Awesome.
And that exterior painting will happen this season?
End of September.
End of September.
So not next week, I think he's gonna be at it the week after, yeah. And then we're just gonna keep rolling. We're still doing the flooring inside, so we don't wanna obviously do it at the same time there, but we might be able to do the library, might be able to face it. There's a couple of rooms we're going to, interior, we're basically using all the rooms that aren't filled with stuff. So like food share has stuff all over it. Any room we can get at, we're getting to. And then after that, we're gonna get to the lighting portion because that one's a little tricky to get under the grant, but we're gonna do it and hopefully get a scope change. So things are rolling very well. Yeah, other than the floor, having to replace it, but ultimately we're getting a brand new floor, so that's good news for us. And the community policing room is now gonna be top notch for whoever moves in there.
I think it was a really good call on the flooring. I was in there the other day and
Yeah.
it was like pushing like 50% of
Mm,
replacement.
yeah.
And I'm like. So.
And that's what he just, and Randy's great, the guy who, enters Salmon, who's doing the work, he's excellent, and he's way more detail oriented than I am. He calls me like 6 times a day. There's another board, Kyle, there's another board, and it's got a crack, I can't leave this here, I'm like, just replay, and we got to the point where like, this is just gonna be patchwork now, let's just.
Yeah.
And the price really isn't that bad to replace the entire thing, I wasn't shocked, so, it's just the amount of work it's gonna take now, and the noise generated inside the library, so we're trying to deal with how we do that best and, just get it done in a reasonable time frame. But everything's going excellent.
For the exterior painting, is a
Mhm.
contingency gonna be held just in case once they get up there and you're up and close, because it's what usually happens, that they'll have to do any woodwork repairs before they paint?
So we've got lots of contingency,
Okay.
yeah,
Perfect. Okay.
and the person who I've hired is again, I guess that comes with the job, painting, I'm not a painter, but super detail oriented, found like 10 things I didn't even find, so if there's any blemishes in anything, he seems very good, I'll probably start getting 12 phone calls a day after I deal with him and the flooring guy. So yeah, so if there's anything, he'll pick a date for sure.
I'm sure we'll look beautiful up there.
It'll be great.
She will.
Mark, do we need a motion?
To you, Chair Stewart, I would just recommend that if the committee is happy with the way the renovations have been presented so far, that you just have a motion saying the committee continues to support the renovations as they have been presented to the committee.
Okay. As Mark just noted, if we can have a motion, to confirm as a committee, we continue to support the renovations and upgrades, that are continuing at the Old Millbrook School. Can I have a motion? Chanel, seconder? Nancy, thank you. All in favor? Motion passed. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kyle.
Great, thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Okay. We can move on to item 6.2, our 2026 budget discussion. So as a reminder to newer like 2025 committee members that have been on the committee this year, this is budget time now. So to start getting ready and thinking forward, because in the coming months, we'll have to present to council if you would like any additional funds for a new project. So we'll go through our work plan and then I guess we can just have another discussion about any other concepts that are coming along. But specifically for 6.2 or 2026 budget discussion, do I just read Mark this, or do I go through the work plan first and then come back to the budget discussion?
To you, Chair Stewart, I kind of structured it a certain way. Karen, what would be your advice on this? Would you prefer to discuss the work plan
I
before
think
you?
so.
Okay, no
Okay,
problem.
we'll switch it up, okay. Okay, so just mark out that a little bit. So work plan, we'll go through the work plan and then again, we can discuss any upcoming projects that we would like to pursue and then we'll talk about the 2026 budget. So if we go to, we'll just flip through this. Item number 1 is our landscape around the station parkette. It's pending the completion of the new sign. So our committee member is not here to discuss what the landscaping will be going around. So I guess we'll just pass on that unless Karen, do you have any updates that you could do for us?
So I'm thinking, I don't want to jump ahead, but so the landscaping realistically, given the time of year we are now in, I am thinking that it's not going to get done this year. If we can get the sign installed, it's probably not going to be landscaped.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that we'll have to ask for that line item again in the
Okay.
operating budget to
Okay,
complete that
okay,
portion of the work.
okay,
And for that particular project, if there's anyone who is talented in landscaping design at all, we could probably use your assistance. So that was something that our friends Peter and Bruce were particularly good at and would help us out. And since they are no longer with us, we will be looking for other volunteers to help with that.
I'm not a landscaper at all.
Mhm.
I do love gardening.
Okay,
So what I could do is I could donate some plants.
so I think we'll have money to buy the plants, and I
Okay.
think to actually, I think we could probably get Parks and Rec to help us with the planting.
Okay.
It's the actual design of what you want to see
Okay.
around, that's the part, you know, and if it turns out that none of us are inclined that way, we'll, you know, maybe in the budget, we'll get a professional to help us with that part, and we'll scramble for the plant material and we'll do the planting.
Okay,
You know, we'll,
okay.
I might, I am no like designer by any means, but my brother does own a exterior and landscaping company, but in Quebec. I
okay,
could speak to him about donating a scheme of sorts, a plan for landscaping.
perfect.
Okay.
Yes, and I don't think it has to be anything elaborate. I
No.
think it's just to dress up that feature in
Yes.
Station Park.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sure one of our committee members, not to assign his name to something, but based on his professional association would be more than willing, because that would be something he does on a regular basis.
Yes.
But we will wait until he's here to
Yeah.
assign it.
Yes.
Okay. Number 2 is the restoration of the Springville and Ebenezer cemeteries. Yearly inspection was completed on June 12th, 2025. Some work was identified for Ebenezer Cemetery. Completion date fall 2025. Any other comments that we need to add to that, or is just?
Yeah, so that work actually comes out of the clerk's department budget, so that, we'll work directly with the clerk's department and
Okay.
get that one. So thank you again to Chanel and Doug for accompanying me to do the inspection.
Thank you very much. Fantastic. Item number 3 is review and update of the current heritage bylaws. That one is obviously falling on me. I have not been able to complete any additional bylaws since our last meeting. But once the cold weather hits us and we sort of go into the hibernation mode, I will start tackling those a little bit more. And hopefully have another package for us to review in January. I think that's feasible. I think I have 4 more in front of me. And I mentioned before, there's another big one that I think I need to do another site visit, so I will try to complete that before we get into too deep of snow, so I can see everything from grade right to the roof, ridge of the roof. The Heritage Awards, 2025, advertisement has been sent out for publication, no nominations received to date. So this is an ongoing thing. This is typical, I know, it's not like we constantly have a flow of applications.
Applications are always open,
Yes,
and the application is available on the township website. You could also contact staff and we will provide any. So staff would respectfully request that if you're out and about socializing and you know that there are people with an interest in heritage, that you might do a little promotion of the fact that we do have these awards. It's not, you know, the be all and end all, but it's nice to recognize people who, you know, do great things, whether that's, you know, actually physical improvements or even their volunteer work or their other community outreach. So it's just, we flag it all the time. We can.
perfect. Item number 5 is the train station signage. New rail switch design concept was approved at council, by council at the April 7th meeting, sorry. Rail switch sign picked up by township, preparation for sign base and installation in progress. Karen, can I look to you for an update on
Yes.
this again as well?
So I am delighted to say that we have the railway train switch in our possession
Fantastic.
after much. Much, I don't want to say kerfuffle, but anyway, thanks to John Culver for sourcing it. we had to go to London, Ontario to pick it up.
Oh, goodness.
So many thanks to Kyle and to Adam, who works in the office. They took the township truck, went to London and picked it up and delivered it safely. So it's now safely stored at the Millworks Workyard. So I believe that John is working directly with Chris Allison, our manager of Parks and Rec, to facilitate the installation with the foundation and to get it installed. And so then there's the sign part that goes with it, and you will see that information in the package. So
Okay.
I don't know if you want to talk about that now or want to go through
Might
the
as
whole list.
well, I don't know, does everyone just want to stay on topic with this project?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
39.
Yes. So the other good news about this, the train signal switch so far, is that we're way under budget so far.
Okay.
So John got us a good deal. Well, what we perceive to be a good deal anyway, so I'm not worried about the money, just
Okay.
based on what people are telling me about what the foundation might be able to cost and
Okay,
and the sign. So the deal with the sign component is, I've done some words and it picked a photo.
Okay.
But I'm not sure what size, like so I was looking to John to provide that
Okay.
information.
Okay.
But I do have to, again, with this project, there's many thanks. So the Cavan Millbrook Historical Society, we need to thank them as well. Kim McLeod did provide me with a variety of photos to choose from, so I chose this one and used the words from Green and Pleasant Land and some other sources in the Millbrook Times written by volunteers with the Historical Society to create this lingo.
okay,
But it's just here for your thought and consideration. If there's another photo you want to use and a different story, we can do that as well.
I love this photo. You have the horse and buggy, you've got people, you've got the station, it shows Millbrook very clearly. I think it,
Mhm. I agree.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's a perfect axle because you can see everything and
the train.
there is one other photo with one that says. I think it's like on the next page, the third one, but there's something else going on in the background that uses. Sort of the mounting, like the building itself on its own. The one that has, I don't know, it's the GTN or.
Oh, with the frame,
The
Yeah.
frame, yeah, it sort of uses the mounting.
the previous page, I think,
Yeah.
this one.
Oh, thank you, Sheila.
Yeah, I like the one you picked there. and it
Yes,
just-
I completely agree.
Cause you see the railroad there and,
You see the sign.
yeah,
Mhm.
the people around. Just a snapshot of history, kind of perfectly represented there.
Mhm. Yes, I did. I'm gonna be honest, I did debate a little bit having the one in the frame or the other one with it doesn't have the grain elevator in the back and that again speaks to the history of the municipality and the area in particular. So, but
I think you made the
Okay.
right choice.
Yeah.
Because at first you're like, what the, like, unless you sort of,
Kind of distracts a
It
little bit from
distracts,
the
yeah.
train station.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think the words are fantastic as well.
Yeah.
Because I know we typically do our like our little QR code, so this sort of presents like a very general. Like very, not, and this isn't a criticism, basic information.
yes,
And like, then the little interesting stories that like pop up as things come to be and unfold, we can just add to it and it doesn't take away from what's been presented.
yes, and I think in the QR code, that's the intention. So there is like lots of information in the Green and Pleasant Land, and Dan from the Historical Society has done some articles in the Millbrook Times.
Yep.
And I think unless Celia advises otherwise, or the board of the Historical Society, I think we can use that information as long as we appropriately give them credit. And we are very happy to do that. This is very much a, it's a collaboration and we relied heavily on their assistance to get us to this point in terms of the information and the photos available.
Okay. So I guess then the next step, I guess once the committee approves the word and the main photos, is just then coming up with an actual layout of how it's gonna look on the sign itself.
Yes,
Okay.
and we're like, I'm not sure. like like if it's going on the round part or if we're having a separate,
Okay,
so that's.
Okay.
That's, I'm looking to John for that.
okay. And I think he's done enough graphic work in his profession. And I think too, that would be then another collaboration between who's ever gonna produce the signs, right?
Mhm.
Because we could go around and around in circles trying to figure out how we want to look like it, but maybe now that we have the photo and the words, we sort of just rely more on like sort of a shop drawing that come from the sign manufacturer. And then adjust it from there.
To you, Chair Stewart, if the committee is happy with the image, that was the first choice image that Karen selected, and as well as the wording, I'd recommend just having a motion just to have the committees, basically support the wording for the sign as presented, and the image, oh, sorry, I'm losing my words here, and the first choice image that Karen Ellis selected for the sign, the station park signage.
Okay.
Actually, give me a second to jot that down.
Yep.
The switch is it from Willbrook,
No,
but it's one of the air.
it's, yes, and it's been refurbished, so it's in good shape.
Amazing. It will look fantastic.
All right, I'm good to go.
Okay. So we just need a motion to support the graphics selected in the page presented here and the wording presented, as discussed, for the shop drawing production, in regards to the switch at the old train station. Can I have a mover? Doug, a seconder? Chanel, all in favor? Motion passed. Perfect. Okay. So, item number 6, the existing mural, restoration and maintenance. It says here, maintenance of mural has been completed by the artist in the summer, which is great. We switch that up, so that we touch it up spring, early summer, so it's fantastic all season. They don't do anything now in the fall, they don't do it twice a year, they just
Yeah,
do
just do it
the once,
just once.
and then.
And I think last year it didn't get done, I don't think so, but it's done this year and
Okay.
soon to be paid for.
Okay, great. And then number 7 is the DL, Springville and Ebenezer, sorry, today, geez Louise, cemetery signage. Wording for signs reviewed and approved by the committee, staff seeking quotes for sign preparation and installation. Karen, over to you again.
So we do have the quotes for the signage.
Okay.
So that's with Bridget. Again, we're within budget.
Great.
So there was nothing in the quote for installation, but I think, so the sign will be similar to what was installed at the DL Parkette.
Okay.
And I believe that our Parks and Recreation staff did that installation. So I'm just gonna confirm with Chris that they can do that.
Okay.
So it's our expectation that those signs would be installed this fall.
Great. Number 8 is our cultural mapping project. Work ongoing, summer student has completed input, senior staff review ongoing. Karen, do you mind if I look to you?
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah.
So, you remember Maxim, so he did all the site visits, input everything into the app, and so now it's on me to go and review all of that information, so I'm a little behind of where I had hoped to be. And I will require some assistance from you for a couple of items.
Okay.
But it's my hope to have that all, the review finalized and everything, so that everything, the county can upload it and everything would be ready to go by the end of the year. So I can say it was quite a successful project. He did a lot of site visits. He met a lot of people who were quite interested in heritage, and history, and we didn't get pushback from, I'm not sure we got pushback from anybody. Some people are obviously more private about their properties, but I would say I was pleasantly surprised by the reception he got and the interest in the topic, so I think it's been quite successful.
He was good. He stopped at my place, our place, but very, very professional, polite, good hire. Like I thought he was a good hire, so that really helped. Yeah.
Fantastic. Good. Tangent off of Darren, from his mapping, did anything come perhaps that we can tie back to the heritage list? Heritage identification.
That is a good question. Leave that one with me.
Okay.
Okay.
And Karen, thank you for reviewing that, because I know that was a big project, so. That is a huge project.
Yeah.
The data that would be inputted.
Yes, because so historically with the old mapping, so there might have been a photo, but there wasn't really, there's very basic wording, and now we've tried to add in, again, with the help of the Historical Society, some wording for each property, just to flag, if it's a person, if it's something historic, like that's some feature of the property. So that there is some additional wording, so and we're still hearing from the odd person. And I'm still chasing down a potential designation of our property. So we talked to the property owner. There was Maxim had quite a good relationship with them.
Great.
But I'm not sure that they've ever committed to go through that process at this point. So it's still on the list of things to consider to move forward.
Well, thank you again for all your work with that and ongoing work. Item number 9, is there update on wayfinding signage policy?
So this is, no.
Okay. Okay,
It's at the bottom of the priority list,
That's
but it's moving up a little
Yeah.
bit, but yes, we are.
you know what, it is what it is, and we won't let it impact our projects.
Yeah.
I think John's intent was that sort of it going hand in hand with our train station signage, but it is what it is, so we'll just keep moving forward. And we'll keep it on an item. There's no cost associated with that, so I don't think that would be an issue. Item number 10 is the Springville Church artifacts. So the stained glass window to be donated to Springville Church for storage and display, decisions required for artifacts. I know we had quite a discussion last time about this. Any updates? I guess from MTO or anything like that?
I have received no word, Chairman Stewart, about when the church might be demolished, so.
It's not.
It's not unusual, no. I think, when they decide to go with some road improvements, that will flip the switch. But that's not to say that, if we had a plan and we were ready, that we couldn't ask for what we want.
Okay.
I do keep in touch with the Centerville Church. Just, because I did call to say, okay, so we have to transport the window and then they have to display it. Is there expectation from them that we will contribute financially to that? And she really didn't know. She thinks that they can probably display it they have church members who are carpenters, and she thinks they can probably do that.
Okay.
So when we talk about the budget, I think in the draft motion that information I've put in $500 for ask, just to help with transport and potential display for that type of work.
Okay.
Any word on the bell?
No, have you heard anything?
Found it.
It's too bad.
And has anything come of the potential for the long-term storage? Or any of the other items, but, we will all next week. Can we get them if they're gone?
No, but I will talk to my Park and Rec friends.
Even the reality of the situation is even if you do get like heads up from MTO, by the time you get the heads up to like when it gets executed, we'll have probably tons of time. It's not like they'll
Yes.
mobilize within like 2 weeks. It'll probably be honestly, almost like a ridiculous amount of time between the two, so. we'll still have time to get ourselves organized. Okay. That's item number 10. So that concludes our formal work plan. Mark, what would be best from an administrative point of view? Can I just have a motion to accept sort of the discussions to point, and then new projects can be brought up and discussed during the 2026 budget discussion item?
Yes, that would be fine. So, go ahead.
Okay, so if I can have a motion to accept the discussion as presented in regards to the ongoing projects and items in our work plan. Chanel, Nancy seconder, all in favor? Motion passed. Fantastic. Okay, so this is sort of the fun part now. Our 2026 budget stuffing. So if there's anything beyond our current work plan that someone has thought of that would be interesting to undertake or propose, let's just open it up for discussion and we'll go from there. Anything of interest? I know we have lots on our plate. There has been years where we've had no new work plans, it's just moving things forward. That is fine as well. Essentially, it's not stopping us from doing other projects. It's what really it comes down to is if we need money to execute a project, this is the time to do it.
That's right. And this is our last meeting formally for this year.
Yeah.
Budget submissions are due by the end of September
Okay.
for the first round. Not to say that we can't
Yeah,
have another if we need it, but we're trying to avoid last year's messiness. If I can say.
We're happy to call special meetings for heritage stuff, but ideally not to redo the budget. But of course, if it is necessary, we will, the clerks will find a way to make it happen. So, Teacher, sir, I don't want to put you on the spot, Karen. Maybe you can just give I believe the chair has a presentation of kind of the suggested budget that staff have presented. Would you mind giving an overview of it for the committee?
The summary? Do you want?
Yes.
Okay, do you want me to just read?
Sure.
Read this out? Okay. So this is our draft that Karen very nicely put together. Committee request for the 2026 operating budget, and I think it might be helpful if you have your work plans in front of you, because that sometimes helps follow along. Okay, so I learned this last year. There's two different things. We have operating budgets and we have clerks budgets. So ask questions.
so what's the difference then in terms of the buckets?
The operating budgets, that's just ongoing,
Yeah.
correct?
So
So
ongoing is our regular things that are
Maintenance and
operational.
like that, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
gotcha.
But some of the operating does occur, so it's the clerk's budget for Ebenezer and Springville, they have the cemetery bucket, so the money doesn't come out of our
Okay.
budget, it comes out of the clerk's budget. And then we have a capital budget as well, and that's where the train
Sure.
station signage project is coming out of.
Okay, and I believe should we have any other new projects, we would request that under the capital.
Yeah, it depends on what the nature of the project is.
Okay. So, the committee requests for the 2026 operating budget, 500 for heritage awards, 1,500 for contracted services for the mural restoration, 1,000 for landscaping at Station Park, 100 for mileage, 500 for advertising, specifically for the heritage bylaws, 500 for Springville Church artifact collection. And it seems like that's it at this point in time. The committee request for the 2026 capital budget rollover of the unused portion of previously approved funding for the Station Park signage project. And that is it, because that's just been repetition. Okay, so that's a draft motion, but that's how it's broken down. I personally had one idea, but I don't know if it actually falls within our overview. It might fall into a different category within the township, is the walking path between the old Willowbrook School that goes down beside the DL Parkette there, and then down to basically the creek.
Yes,
it is in dire need of repair. It's almost to the point where, I think it might be shortly becoming a safety concern.
Some pretty hefty cracks and
Lifting,
shifting the
um,
concrete.
yeah, on, like,
You're talking going down to Distillery Street there from the school?
yes,
Well, I think from what I heard after this year water break, they possibly might be redoing them pipe before too long, I think. Yeah, we transferred money over to redo Dufferin Street
okay,
right now because there's pieces there that caused a lot of problem. So when they're doing that, maybe they'll be looking at that too.
okay.
Get it done underneath the road work.
Should be mentioned for sure, no?
So
Yeah, well,
maybe we
let's
should
just-
have a motion to
They're gonna
ask
pipe up them pipes.
Public Works.
They're gonna change that pipe, that
Can I-
does go up that ramp.
Clarify, Karen. I'm gonna slight modification. So from my understanding of the way you're describing it, Chair Stewart, is that the issue with this walkway is that it's more so the state of the condition of it.
Yes,
So that's more of a, I don't want to describe it as customer service, but that's something that we would approach at a staff level that wouldn't necessarily be touched on the committee. Just to kind of bring into the frame terms of reference of the committee to kind of, if you want to shift it, if the committee had a suggestion to kind of beautify it or kind of emphasize the township heritage or make it align with some of the architecture or something else, then I think that would be within the scope of the
okay,
Heritage Committee. We'd be happy to pass this on at the staff level to the Public Works Department. Definitely any part of our infrastructure, especially in an area of the downtown that's visited by a lot of residents and people coming from outside of the town. We definitely want that looking good. So
okay,
can you, after the meeting, I just want you to give a specific description of the area and I'll pass
I
it
know
on
what
to
it
the
is.
Public Works staff and we'll make sure that that gets followed up
Okay.
upon. And thank you. And regardless of whether it's in the scope of the terms of committee, I'm happy you bring it forward because
Recreation as well as that, cause
I think it's,
it might be.
I think it's Public Works.
right, I
because
think it's perfect, you've got it all.
Yeah.
They'd have to dig it out.
And the-
It's been unsafe for years.
If it's any physical infrastructure, I suspect it would be Public Works, but we'll find the responsible party.
That's my,
That
might be something they can do.
When they're putting it back in, maybe they put it back.
Super.
But Mark, it's saying that if the improving the path itself isn't under ours, but if we can beautify it along there, that would be a fantastic connection.
Mhm.
From downtown up to the school, like they have, I think, some solar lights, and I don't know who's put that there, maybe residents that live along Dufferin there, they put it, it's, cause then they can just walk up and down, but it is, I didn't realize how busy that path is.
Oh, yeah.
Until I started utilizing it myself more. But we'll inquire first to see, and then if we can sort of take it to the next level, maybe that's something the committee could do. And honestly, if they are replacing piping there, it's all gonna come up anyway, so maybe the reality, it's not like a 2026 item, and maybe it's like a 2027 project.
Isn't the bottom of that pad on that house?
But I think they showed that like, they
Yeah.
started right at the,
When I-
right at the Distillery Street, right up in the.
I know there's
a-
Like,
It's been brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But I think there's
There was
there was
No, no.
something up.
I understand. I don't
The
have the
kids-
specific mental location of where some of the proposed works are, and some of this is, of course, pending council
Something about-
approval.
At the end of the path.
One street.
I don't know
Yeah.
about called security for the residents there, but anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there, regardless of any budget ask, if the committee does have recommendations on changes to the infrastructure to kind of emphasize the heritage of the township, that is totally within the scope of the committee. So even if the committee doesn't have a specific motion right now, for any of our other non-special meetings, you can bring that to me and we can literally have a motion ready for the committee or something concrete to discuss, or you can bring it up in a meeting and the committee can just have a motion spontaneously as well.
Okay.
But we prefer having something in advance just from a transparency perspective.
We should find out if it is actually gonna be, I mean, it sounds like it will be, but if it's gonna be torn up, maybe it would be easier to piggyback on that to make any
Mhm.
changes to match it with the school.
I think we're going to grab that sooner than later, because they wanted to get it done before
Yes.
the freeze out.
Yes.
Now, and they know that there's some bad pipes, but they had two breaks. The same road, so they're. I'm not like.
Is that why the roof had to be boiled?
Yeah,
Yes, there's
I think
water,
there's going to be.
and that's why there's pipes here, so you can
Mhm.
see the crap pipe and the good pipe.
Yeah.
What, the white pipe is the one that broke, the blue pipe is the new stuff they put in, the new stuff that they put in, to replace it. Blue root, and it's stronger and stands more.
So, any other projects percolating?
Not gonna need a summer student next year, you anticipate, or?
I don't, through you, Chairman Stewart, I don't know what they would do at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, you don't have a project.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, and we have been told, I don't wanna take your thunder, Chairman, or not Chairman, Councillor Edgerton, but budget's gonna be tight, so
Right.
if we're gonna ask for money, we need to have a solid plan.
Right.
Oh,
Makes sense.
but quit spending money.
Well, it sounds like there's nothing else, which again, as I said, there's nothing wrong with that. We can just focus on completing what we have on our plate. There's nothing wrong with that. The other thing too is knowing and having been a part of the budget request last year, there had been a push to get things done, essentially from council. So I think if we go and just say, we are working hard, we are a volunteer committee, we're not requesting any additional funds, again, we're just asking for rollover of funds you've already previously approved. I don't think we'll get pushback on that. But who knows? So, maybe at this point, we can just carry forward, is that okay, Mark?
We would need a motion for the committee to, and sorry for the budget specifically, because this is also something that auditors review. I would just like you to read out the motion again, please, Ashley.
So first, you want me to make, just to go back, do you want me to make a motion in regards to just requesting staff to inquire about the pathway, or do we?
No, that's not necessary.
That's not necessary?
We
Okay.
absolutely will do that regardless of the
Okay.
motion, and it's outside the scope of the committee, so I'd recommend that.
Okay, so I will read out the very organized motion that Karen put together for us. It reads that the committee requests for the 2026 operating budget is 500 for the Heritage Awards, 1,500 for contracted services for mural restoration, 1,000 for landscaping at Station Park, 100 for mileage, 500 for advertising for the Heritage bylaws, 500 for Springfield Church artifact collection. But the committee request for the 2026 capital budget rollover of the unused portion of previously approved funding for the Station Park signage project. Okay, I just need a mover. Janelle, seconder. Doug, thank you. All in favor? Motion passed. Perfect. Thank you.
And if I may suggest, Chairman Stewart, like next year, it doesn't necessarily cost us money, but we could work on a plan for what we're gonna do with the artifacts, like where options for where they should go,
Okay.
how we wanna display them, if we wanna display them, you know.
Yes, that's a good point,
Yeah,
Karen.
like-
Because we can do projects, it's just. We can do things that don't cost money, it's just having
Yeah,
conversations.
like get the plan in place
Planning
next year and then know what we're gonna ask for the next budget.
for- Right, that's a good point to make, thank you, that's now on our brains. Okay. Item 6.4 is our 2026 meeting schedule. Thank you so much for providing that at this point in time.
No problem to you, Chair Stewart. So I did prepare this as per the terms of reference. It's,
Okay.
I believe, the third Thursday, of every, of the months listed there that the committee is supposed to meet. As the committee members are aware, the Heritage Advisory Committee does occasionally have to do special meetings if, for instance, a heritage property is being altered or reaches that threshold. But otherwise, this would be the expected to schedule.
And we can assume our starting time will start at 9, just
Yes, at 9.
that, and I'm not saying anything, I just have to put it in my calendar.
No, I understand. That's why I raised it with you guys. We appreciate our volunteers.
Yeah, schedule into March, April already, so, perfect, okay, that is great. Do we need a motion to approve those dates? Or that's
I-
For information,
Just to support the proposed dates, I would say.
so if we can have a motion to, accept the 2026 proposed meeting schedule. Nancy, a seconder? Doug, all in favor? Motion passed, that passed. Okay, and our last item is this adjournment of the meeting. If I can have a mover, Janelle, seconder. Nancy, all in favor? Meeting adjourned. Great, thank you, everyone.